Options show, where every week Marta and Anna abandon their 5 children, 2 partners and 1 cat to make a show especially for you. An artist, a challenge, a bullshit, a wisdom and a surprise. Tune in and feel the magic of 5.
Hello everyone, this is Marta and I almost didn't make it on time to start because I was taking pictures of Dennis.
Yes, and this is Anna.
And this is You've Got 5 Options show.
And I was not taking pictures of Dennis. Yes, that's true. Marta was very much into her new hobby, which is amateur photography, I guess. Is it your new hobby?
No, it's just like really Dennis put on his sunglasses and I think that there is no sun. There is no even windows available in this room where we are recording. So
we are practically kept in a basement, so let's face it.
Yeah, and I believe that this deserves a picture on our Facebook page.
I completely agree.
Dennis is still dancing
to the intro that no one else can hear.
Yeah.
Dennis, what pills did you pop today?
You'd like to know.
Yes, that's why I'm asking. I have a feeling this is some sort of conspiracy theory. And if it is, then guys, you are in a lucky spot because today's topic is conspiracy theories. And I know, this is a very controversial topic, but there are 2 reasons we are covering it today. Number 1, as you may or may not know, we actually organized a voting on our website and on our Facebook web pages where we have given couple of different topics that we had either covered in the past or started and didn't finish in the past, and people can vote. If you want to vote, go to the 5options.com and you can vote for a topic you would like us to cover on the radio. But conspiracy theories actually got in a solid top 5 of topics. Probably I wouldn't take it so early, because, there are still 3 more topics to go. One we actually covered last week, and that was 5 insights that will completely change you and lead you to a fulfilled life. That was the topic you voted for the most. But because of coronavirus, yes, I'm saying this, coronavirus, and the amount of conspiracy theories surrounding this particular case, I have decided to take upon conspiracy theories today. And for some interesting reason, everyone is very excited in the studio.
Yay!
Yes, that was an excitement from Dennis, who didn't turn his microphone on, so you couldn't hear it very well. But I was also sharing this with our video maker, video manager, video wizard, who is actually recording us on a camera, and she was also super excited. So here it is, exciting topic today. I would like to also say that if I am not saying specifically that this is a confirmed information, please take everything with a grain of salt. This is not a lecture about conspiracy theories. This is supposed to be more lighthearted and funny program where we discuss the phenomenon, talk about some conspiracy theories. So don't take it personal and don't take it so serious. Are those rules clear, guys?
No.
Can you repeat them?
I actually kind of hate you a little bit right now, both of you.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. I love to be trapped with you in a studio for the next hour with no way to get out from here. But before we will jump into the topic, we will also have an artist of the week and a short phone interview. We will be doing some quiz. So if you are listening to us right now, you are most welcome to take a piece of paper, notebook and a pen, or open your computer, your mobile, and take a part in a test that will happen very, very soon. I think we can kickstart with, not a jingle, with my little introduction. So guys, coronavirus. Are we afraid or not? Your feelings for the time being.
Not really, no.
No, Dennis is not afraid. Marta?
I am not much afraid of the coronavirus itself. I am a little bit afraid of the fear that is created around that. So, but not too much right now. And also, in general, I think that the fear is the worst possible thing, because it's when you are doing things out of fear, you're usually not doing good things, not doing the right things. Not always, of course. I mean, there is never always and stuff.
Yeah, for instance, when you are attacked and you need to run and you decided out of fear and you manage to escape, that's a good decision.
Yeah, okay, so out of irrational fear. When
Very
we
good.
are talking about rational fear, when we are attacked by a Danish cheetah, okay, that's maybe not very rational. Maybe when you are attacked by a deer in Denmark, that can happen more likely. Yes, it is rational to use fear in that situation and protect yourself, run away, but maybe freeze is not that good. I don't know. However, I do believe that when it comes to irrational fear, when the thing is not at the moment attacking you, it's often creating more damage than good. And it can have quite a lot of consequences, you know, with what's happening in the world right now with coronavirus. So it is not an easy topic. It is not something that, you know, you can hurt many people's feelings. You can press many different buttons. So,
yes.
So, yeah, let's see how you get on with that topic, Anna.
Yes. So, wow, thank you for this wonderful introduction that opened so many fear gates in my head. But first of all, I would like to say about the coronavirus, stay safe and wash your hands. That's number one. Number two, the theories, conspiracy theories that I will just, as a part of introduction to this program, share here with you are theories. I am not saying that any of these things is true. I am just trying to illustrate how many theories has occurred and actually ask a very wise question. Why do you think that is? Why there is so many conspiracy theories about the coronavirus? So, guys, I would like to tell you very briefly what are the theories, and please tell me not if you believe them or not, but if you heard about them. Number one, coronavirus was biologically engineered in China. Did you hear about this?
Yes.
Yes.
Confirmed. Coronavirus was biologically engineered in Canada and somehow got out.
No.
No.
Okay, that I heard. Coronavirus was biologically engineered and released into the population as a part of an economic and psychological war on China, and that was done by United States.
I think that I have like maybe seen something somewhere. I didn't read much about it, but it rings a bell.
It rings a bell.
I have maybe scrolled something on Facebook about that.
I haven't heard about it.
You haven't heard about it. Okay. Coronavirus is consciously presented in media as a pandemic to sell vaccines.
No.
There is no vaccine so far, so
Potential vaccines. Did you hear about this theory?
nope. Not about corona, but about so many other things.
Some other things. Okay. The other theory is that the pandemic creation in media is there to take our basic freedom rights, like a right to move or travel. Because, you know, under the assumption that it spreads, we cannot travel freely. So that's the reason. Did you hear about this?
Does it count if I heard about it from you?
Yes, it counts.
Yes, I heard about it from a very conspirational source.
Dennis, did you hear about it?
No.
Coronavirus pandemic is created in media in order to take our attention from other things that are happening in the background, the so-called diversion strategy. So there is probably something very important happening right now in the world, and all the media are reporting about coronavirus in order to take our attention.
I don't think I read about it somewhere. I may have thought about it.
Okay.
somewhere here.
Or you might have thought about it. Dennis, did you hear about it?
I had a debate about it a couple of weeks ago, but I don't remember why we started talking about that. So I may have heard about it, and that's why we talked about it, but I don't remember actually.
The almost last one is coronavirus pandemic creation in media is there to conduct a social experiment and how far we can push people to do certain irrational things. Like, for instance, to buy off all the masks and antibacterial gels in the shops, or like in case of Poland, spaghetti. Because the news said that you have to, for pandemic purposes, you actually should buy things like, pasta and rice and cans, for the, if for instance, in case of something, you would have to stay home, like those people in Wuhan right now. And apparently people followed, and there is no more pasta in Biedronka.
Well, I did talk to some Polish friends, and they said that before there was even first confirmed case of coronavirus in Poland, the shops were already empty. And that friend of mine told me that she wanted to buy toilet paper and she couldn't. Because, I can understand why something like that can go so wild in Poland. Because I think a big majority of the population still remembers the 80s, where that was the reality, where you couldn't get important stuff in the shop. So I think there is this memory, in a lot of people that, okay, this shit is real, not being able to get stuff that you need for survival is a real thing, and like including food. And not having toilet paper was a very real challenge
that
in
was
the
huge.
80s.
That was huge, really, believe it or not,
Yeah.
Dennis. Yeah.
So I can understand why in Poland it can so easily happen. Still scary that something like this can happen so easily before the virus is even confirmed. Not even one case. Also,
We have one case in Poland.
but that was before. That was, the shops were already empty. And also weird that all the countries have had confirmed cases so long and Poland didn't. That's another interesting
Conspiracy theory?
question.
Question.
And and that's it from myself, dragging the topic into wrong direction. Sorry.
It's okay. It's very interesting because it makes you think. But that would be the premise, that this is a social experiment to see how much you can manipulate people by presenting coronavirus as a real pandemic and a real danger to millions of lives. We are trying to see how society will behave. So that's another conspiracy theory that I have stumbled upon. The last one that I will tell you about is actually very interesting because I learned about it today. Apparently in summer 2019, Wuhan, the city where coronavirus originated, and that now is actually on a lockdown, so people cannot leave homes. I don't know if you know it, since 12th of February. That city is 11 million people. So I thought, I had a Danish scale in my head, like, Wuhan, I never heard about it. So what? It's like 40,000. No, it's 11 million. It's double the population of Denmark, actually. And in summer of 2019, something very special happened in Wuhan. People went on streets to protest, and that very rarely happens. They were protesting because the city wanted to, I will now talk from my memory, they wanted to build another waste contamination factory or some sort of thing where you can gather all the waste and also chemical waste, and people were protesting because it was in the area where 300,000 people live, and they believe that this is very harmful for them and for the environment, that there is a lot of pollution. There was a lot of cases where people were sick, they had lung problems because of the contamination and pollution in Wuhan city, and they went on streets. And you know how easy it is protest in China? Not easy, since I think it is, where was the Tiananmen?
Tiananmen.
Tiananmen. It was in 89, right, when the Chinese student was probably rode over with a tank, and that really made an impression. Chinese people don't usually protest, and that was one of the biggest protests that ever happened. And some speculate that in order to keep people away from protesting, the virus was spread. So now they can keep them home, so they cannot go on the streets. And I would say if I will see that contamination factory or whatever that is called built in the meantime, then I would actually find it quite interesting coincidence. So that is all of the theories I have found. Did you find anything else? Do you remember something that I haven't mentioned about the conspiracy theories about the coronavirus?
I don't think I have heard any other conspiracy theories. I must say that I have gone on a conspiracy theory tangent myself a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's really something special because it has never happened to me before in my life. So that was the first time. And Anna, you have been interested in conspiracy theories in the past quite a lot.
Yes.
You were researching them at some point quite a lot. And was your ex-husband. He
Yes.
was quite into that as well.
So
and
is my current boyfriend, so I think there is a pattern here. Huh?
So you are you have always been very open to it. And I remember we used to have discussions where I was like, no, why would people be doing this kind of things? And I was very much like, I trust the media and, the official narrative and so on, especially in free countries. It's not like I trust it everywhere. So things have changed since. And I, inspired by our show that we were recording last week, where you've mentioned that China is that country which has the biggest problem in the world with aging population. When I was reading about coronavirus, because I wanted to determine for myself whether I am afraid of that virus or not, I did quite a lot of research. I do need to admit that I can have a tendency to be slightly fearfully reacting to weird diseases because my father passed away very suddenly on one of these kind of weird diseases. So I do need to admit that I can get a little bit scared or a lot. So I just wanted to determine how I feel about it, did a very big research, and I found out that children are not affected by this disease. And I found it very weird because usually where there is a disease, children and elderly people are among those most affected groups. And I just found it very peculiar that in the country that has the biggest problem with aging population, there is a disease that mainly attacks old people and does not attack children. I was like, that's kind of a big coincidence. So, I myself thought about it, that it's weird. I mean, I don't know if you can say that I made a conspiracy theory, but I just started to wonder, and I think that this is what is the good part about conspiracy theories. You can simply open yourself to be able to see things from different perspectives. It's not about whether something is absolutely true. If something is a fact, something in my mind is a fact where everyone can agree to it. So something is a fact where no matter where you stand, you will say that's true. You will agree to it. Everything else is just a speculation, a theory, and so on. So that's what I wanted to say. So a fact is something like that the sun rises on the east. That's something that I have not heard yet anyone disagreeing to. That's a fact for me. And then the rest is, the things around coronavirus is a lot of speculation, theories, fear, and
I do have to admit that Marta recorded voicemail after we left the studio on Friday, and she said, listen, I found out something super weird. I checked those data, and I checked it actually today morning, and it's true, the mortality rate for children between 0 and 10 years old is 0, which is quite unusual if we talk about different viral infections, because, especially infants and newborns are the most vulnerable, and elderly people, because their immunological systems are either compromised already or they are not yet developed. So I was like, Marta, I'm proud of you. I have to say I don't have an opinion, but I find all of those theories interesting to entertain. And before we will go into the challenge of the week, last question for you guys. Just from a heart or from an instinct, why do you think coronavirus inspires so many conspiracy theories?
Because of the location where it was, where it was born, I believe that, I think it's something to do with, general perception that things, we don't have much trust.
Yeah.
We don't have much trust into that information coming from China is true. So some people, like one of the things that I've heard was that in China it's possible that there are at least 10 times more cases of coronavirus than what they say, because usually the truth coming from, the information coming from China is just 1/10 of the truth. Like some people say this kind of things. So for example, that's one thing I heard somewhere, don't remember where it was. So I think that the place where it came from is,
Good point. Good point. Dennis, what do you think? Why so many conspiracy theories about coronavirus?
I really don't know if there are any more or less conspiracy theories.
It's a bit more if I look at the...
compared to swine flu or bird flu or whatever has come out of China. Or is it just that there are 20% more people on social media now than there were 10 years ago?
Could be. That could be also the thing. That is a very good thing to mention. I also think that probably some politicians like Trump also contributed to...
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I wanted to say that before. That's the funniest one I've heard so far, is that the coronavirus is an invention by the Democrats to hurt Donald Trump. That's the most stupid thing I've ever heard. But it's fun. I mean, this is the president of the United States and his acolytes willingly saying something as absurd as another party making up a disease to hurt him personally. You have to be mental to actually say that publicly.
Well, but I believe that we have managed to gather a couple of things. Conspiracy theories are born when the circumstances of an event are not really cleared, where we cannot confirm information and a lot of the things are going on speculation, when our outlook on life changes drastically and, for instance, suddenly we are not able to travel or we are locked in the apartments and we cannot leave, and if we have some crazy politicians doing crazy things. And with that wonderful accent, please remember, because those are conditions for conspiracy theories to emerge, we will go to the challenge of the week.
A very challenging challenge of the week.
So before the show start, I gave Dennis and Marta not an order, a suggestion if they can supply themselves.
Order.
No, because I wanted to say I gave them piece of paper, which is not true. I realized it's Dennis who gave you and himself a piece of paper. So I gave paper, new word. So I didn't give an order. I give a suggestion if they could supply themselves, because now we will make a little bit of a writing, because there is a quiz that I have for you. How big of conspiracy theorist are you? I will ask you 6 questions and I will give you 3 answers for each, A, B, and C. For every A, you should give yourself 1 point. For every B, 2 points. For every C, 3 points. Are we clear with the rules?
Could you repeat them?
No. No, yes. All good.
So I will read it, and then the challenge of the week, am I a conspiracy theorist or not, will be solved. So guys, question number 1. 9/11 was A, A terrorist attack on the World Trade Center by Al-Qaeda. B. A terrorist attack, but I am not that sure who was standing behind it and what were the reasons. C. An inside job of the US government to have an excuse to start a war in Iraq and limit US citizens' civil rights and freedom. Can I continue? Okay. Listeners, I hope you note your answer. Number 2. Do you believe aliens exist and the government is covering up their existence? A. If aliens exist, the government wouldn't cover it up. First of all, it would be too difficult to do it. Secondly, why? B. I tend to think the government would try to keep it a secret, not to create a panic. C. Not only the government covers up alien existence, but they are also in contact with them. If you don't have your perfect answer, Denise, then you just have to choose from the 3 I gave you. I'm sorry, this is a
I
very...
also don't feel much for this one.
Well, you have to decide.
Don't identify myself much.
Yeah.
Meh.
So, meh.
Yeah,
meh.
I feel the same about.
3. What do you think about conspiracy theories? A. Bunch of bullshit. B. I think some of them may be actually true. C. They are a sign that people can still think for themselves. Number 4. What do you think about the moon landing? A. It happened, no doubt about it. B. I'm not entirely sure. I consider an option that we never fly to the moon. C. It happened, but they didn't show us the real footage. We've been flying to the moon since then in secret. Number 5. If we were on a brink of extinction level event, the governments of the world would keep it a secret. A. Maybe at the very beginning, just to be able to come up with some solutions, but as soon as they know what to do, they would tell the population. B. Probably they would keep it a secret as long as they could to avoid the panic and keep the economy going. C. They would never tell. Take our money from taxes and build themselves bunkers, spaceships or submarines and leave us all to die. Number 6. A whistleblower like Snowden is A. A traitor. B. Someone who looks for fame, some benefits. C. Someone who risks her life to enlighten people about the criminal things that governments and agencies are doing. And that is the end of the test. Guys, do you have your results in points?
I need to have repeated the points, so I just wrote the letters.
For A, 1. For B, 2. For C, 3.
All right.
I have 12.
You have 12?
Yeah, let me just calculate it.
So when Dennis is calculating, I will read you the results because it's stupid that there is a 10 seconds of...
11.
You have 11. Okay, guys. So for you guys and for our listeners, this is what are the results of the test. If you had 6 points, this whole conspiracy business is one big bullshit for you. If you scored from 7 to 10, you see yourself as a rational person, but sometimes when no one is looking, you wonder. If you have between 11 and 13, there are some conspiracy theories you actually believe in, but many of them you consider to be crazy and ridiculous. 14 to 17, welcome to the club. You are a believer. 18, some call you a nut job. We call you a full-blooded conspiracy theorist. So guys, you have scored. There are some conspiracy theories you believe in, but many of them you consider to be crazy and ridiculous. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's pretty correct for me.
Did you fall in the right category, Dennis?
Yeah, maybe I have a hard time seeing how question 6 has anything to do with conspiracy theories.
Ah, the whistleblower.
Yeah.
So the person who actually talks about conspiracy theories, that gets the information from...
No, Edward Snowden didn't speak about conspiracies. He actually uncovered a conspiracy.
That's true. Okay. So you had a problem with that. But would you say that more or less the result reflects your state of feeling towards conspiracy theories?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat. Okay, Dennis is very, very much mysterious here.